Nice picture.
It's not your bum, though.
Hey?
Just
Oh,
what was that picture? In a mountain,
mate.
right?
Yeah. Top of Alpe d'Huez. It was, nice day, that one. Yeah. I think, I always get asked what's my best, it's there. That's a bit easier, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, did you get your corner?
Yes, 13. Corner 13. Yeah. And they put my name...
upside down, right? Or
Should do, yeah. But they've... that's probably what the curse is, actually. Well, I was crashing before that, anyway, but... but yeah, when they put my name on it, it was Thomas Geraint as well. Like, I tell everyone, Thomas is my second name. Germans tell me no. Thomas is a first name. I'm like... But, sorry if there's any Germans here. Apologise, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, as I say, I always get asked, like, what's your favourite sort of victory? And people kind of expect me to say that. I think that the time trial was probably even better because that's when I actually won the Tour. But this, pretty special already.
What are the mountains for G? What do they mean?
This is a very good book, by the way.
Are you going to sign it to me?
Yeah, of course.
There's a bunch of them right there.
But yeah, it's Tom, who, basically wrote the book with me. He suggested this, putting together like a load of different mountains that we've done. And because, as we all know, whether you're amateur or pro, just going and challenging yourself up climbs is something we can all do. And it's an achievement just for some guys just to get up Alpe d'Huez, or, to other guys to try and win up it. But, we all go through those same emotions and the same sort of roller coaster of like agony and, delight once it's done.
I'm not sure about that, mate. I'm not sure. I don't think our emotions would have been the same going up Alpe d'Huez.
Okay, yeah.
I think you might have felt a little bit better than I did.
But it's still like, whether you like climbing or not, it's still, once you finish a Grand Tour, for instance, it's a great feeling, though. Like just...
Yeah. No, it is. I think, like you said, you go through a lot on a climb. I just think for you, it might have been a little bit different. For me personally, I'd have been swearing a lot.
But Alpe d'Huez is insane as well. Like during the tour, like the Dutch corner now as well. I don't know if there's Dutch people here, but they are absolutely bonkers. Like it's insane, and it's just like one big disco all the way up.
And something that you may have watched on telly, all that crowd that G is talking about, but how about the smell? What do you smell there on that corner?
Oh,
you don't get that on telly, don't you?
Everything. It's just like, beer and, because
and
getting
beer
in your face. Yeah, like.
And beer.
and barbecues and all sorts, and, because they get, like, right up in your face, like, because when it's single file, well, you got to be, because they're just like, there's only... just squeeze up through them, but there's nothing. That's great. I love that. Some people think you can be annoying as a rider, but just that atmosphere and the intensity of it is just unbelievable. And but yeah, like when they're shouting in your face, you literally can smell the beer on people's breath, and that's a bit, not ideal. Like obviously, I took out Nibali that day.
Great.
You said it. But it's just that. It's like in Belgium as well, though, Quarrel Mountain stuff, like the atmosphere, though, like completely different, but it's uphill and it's still a climb, and the atmosphere of those things is insane as well.
Yeah, I think it's like the cobble climbs is so much different because I think it's not the climb, you have to race into the bottom of it, and you do into the bottom of these, but you have a lot more time on these long climbs to appreciate it a lot more. Going up a cobble climb, you just go in, just not hating it, but it's a lot more, there's so many different aspects of pain involved with it, because it's not just riding up and concentrating.
Sorry, you said pain. That was painful, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that was Giro, if I'm not mistaken, and they have to
Blockhouse, wasn't it?
No, this was the one with the bottle.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Bloody bottle.
The recent one.
Bahrain.
The Mount Etna one.
Yeah. And because we had just changed, I think, to Grenadier. Like the kit had changed.
Yeah,
so
so you crash so much, it's hard for me to tell which one is it.
I know, man. I know.
Thanks, mate. But yeah, they had to safety pin my skin suit because all the kit I had was the old kit in my wet bag, so obviously couldn't put it on. So, but that was a terrible day. But I was glad it was fractured though, to be honest, because it was a reason why it was so bad, and then you could actually go home and recuperate. And actually, it was October, wasn't it? So I just got on the piss, and it
was. You went on winter, right? But how about this winter? What's going on this winter on G?
So I'll hopefully get back riding next week. So I had a shoulder operation a few weeks ago now. Should still have the sling on, but the surgeon's not here, so it's fine. But I've been doing my exercises and stuff, and finally it feels like it's getting better. And get back on the road and just burning off the fat, to be honest.
I think that's Ethan Hayter, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. That's me. I did have to look there. Where was? Oh, it was at the Worlds.
It's the hour record, wasn't it?
No,
you haven't done that yet.
Definitely the Worlds.
Are you planning on doing hour record?
I've thought like it would be quite cool to do, but you got to really commit to that, haven't you? Like, there's a lot of time and effort, but I wouldn't say never. But I think I definitely got to do it before Ghana goes for it, because then.
So over.
Yeah, you're saying what's his name? Fabian's got a big bum. Ghana, he is he's massive. That guy, he's an absolute unit, isn't he? But
yeah, he's big.
Fair play, he's got some power.
And with the winter G, you know how everything's changing now within cycling, young kids coming through. You've obviously been in the sport for a long, long time, and you've obviously had Tim Kerrison.
Oh, not that long, mate.
Sorry, mate, sorry. You've obviously had Kerrison, though, coaching you. He's now not in the team anymore. You have a new coach. Is there any way that you think, now looking at cycling, you've got the young kids, are you going to change a lot with your training? Is it a new aspect that you're looking at, a new approach to it?
Yeah, I kind of always had the attitude of trying to always develop and always like look for new things and whatever, but you still have your sort of basic sort of blueprint of how you train and race and perform. And so I won't change it drastically because I've only got maybe 2-3 years left. So it's like, it's a bit late really to try and do something completely different. But yeah, I think with the young guys, I think it's just because the top of the sport the last few years has really moved on from, this whole team's training really well, doing altitude. Like when we were together in Sky, we were the first team to actually do it. Like when we went up to altitude training, whereas before it was individuals, like Nibali would go with maybe a couple of his cronies and somebody else. But now it's like the training and everything is, so much more dialed to nutrition and everything. And then that gets passed down. So that the under 23s, like these days, juniors, they're like professional. So then they turn pro and they can perform straight away then. Pricks.
And they get the opportunity straight away because you were performing straight away, G. I remember. I mean, it was the other way around with you. I remember once in Tour of Flanders, you were really good, and you were Flecha, you want to move forward. You want to just go for you do your own thing. You're better than me today, but you were still on that role of being a domestic.
Yeah.
What's going on with these young kids? They're already now, I'm here, I'm better, I take the leadership role. Is that that's changed a lot? Yeah,
definitely. I think, but yeah, it's
stamp your authority, man. Yes, but no.
Yeah, so it's one or two guys, obviously, like Pogacar, Egan, leading the way, Remco. But then, yeah, as you say, like suddenly then there's loads coming through, which is great for the sport. But I think it will be interesting to see how long those guys perform for. Pidcock, because it's so intense the way, they're fully like, some of the guys, like Pidcock doesn't drink even tea or coffee, let alone beer and things. And not that that's, bad, but it's completely different.
It's not.
But it's just like, like in rugby, do you know rugby?
I never played it, but I know.
So it's like, it went professional like end of the 90s, I think, wasn't it? And basically it was like, it was an amateur sport where they just drunk, you know, and it was just really relaxed and they just go out. But then they went professional and then suddenly that changed. And it's kind of similar now with the young guys. Like, it's just, the sport is like evolving into more of a, you know, they don't have kids and stuff and we're racing through some of these, down these roads and it's just like, mate, like, we got 100k to go, just calm down. But, you know, the bike's getting quicker, you know, there's more traffic calming, you know, there's like street furniture everywhere, and so it is getting a bit more crazy as well. But I still just love racing my bike though. Still, like, that's one thing with the whole pandemic, you know, the last year and a half, when you don't get to do it as much, or like it's just, you know, we were fortunate that our lives didn't really change so much, but that's when I really realized I still do just love racing my bike and just want to do it for a couple more years and just enjoy it and, yeah, help out some of the kids and also tell them no.
Exactly that, exactly. Are you going to do the classics again? Because there's a massive part of me that wants you to do the classics again. See, crowd has spoken.
Yeah, I'd love to, because they're just great races. Like you say, when we were racing together, they were just like, oh, it was just unbelievable, like the atmosphere and everything. And just those races are where I started, really, like as a junior, going over to Belgium and racing some of those on those roads and things. So, and it's just like, yeah, just great racing. So yeah, I'd love to, but we'll see.
I remember we were sharing the room together before Tour of Flanders. You were messaging your family, and you asked me, how would you compare Tour of Flanders? Is it like the Olympics? I said, no, it's more than the Olympics. It's like, yeah, but I'm trying to describe it to my parents-in-law. I want to tell them how important this race is.
Yeah.
And because obviously, in the UK, especially, you guys have the Olympics, and here you are.
Yeah.
And here you are as well. And that's very important. But obviously, how you see it now, you've been there with a gold medal on your hand and Olympic gold, and you've been in Flanders too. Yeah.
Only
but
one
Pete
there.
Kenya there.
Yeah, and Pete Kenya, Stephen Burke and Ed. So they were good days as well. Like, that was a good group of us. I think Andy Tennant was the fifth man. But
standard. Sorry. He's always been fifth man. Come on.
This Team GB, but tell us about the Commonwealth game. Should we have a look at some pictures, because you won it?
Yeah, that was in Glasgow. Oh, the weather was unbelievable. I don't know if people here remember it, but I think it actually stopped raining for that. But yeah, it just hammered down for like the 4.5 hours before, and it was like a week after the tour. So the TT was on Thursday, so the tour finished Sunday, TT Thursday, and then this was the following Sunday.
Do you ever look at these though, G, and think these like the one-day races where you get to almost race your bike more than, it's not as controlled, is it? And you talked about the bike racing in the aspect of you still love racing your bike. Do you love doing these one days where you're able to get stuck in? Because, as I said, what you do now, there's not much chance for you to race. It's very controlled.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing with stage races. Yeah, like every stage is like measured, like what you're gonna at least try to do. But that's changing as well now. To be fair, like UAE, like in the Tour this year, didn't really take control of the race, just let it sort of go, and like some of those stages were just bonkers, like, and so that's going a bit more the same. Like the Tour's going kind of like Giro, Vuelta way as well, you know, with just little uphill finishes at the end and technical things here and there. But yeah, one day racing is just all in that one day, isn't it? And they're special, like, and yeah, Commonwealth Games, like racing for Wales, like. I get to do that not even every 4 years. Sometimes I miss it. So, but yeah, that's really nice to do.
Is that your next challenge?
Well, it's next year. So yeah, I definitely want to be there. Someone told me earlier actually that it was supposed to be in South Africa, but now it's Birmingham, which is a bit disappointing. Like Durban, Birmingham, but yeah, it'll just be great to be there. And like one of my good mates is like looking after us all in the Welsh team, so it'll be a good group of us. Yeah, we got some good Welsh riders now, actually, to be fair. But yeah, did you know what the Commonwealth Games were, by the way?
What do you mean, where?
What they are, like, cause
yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, that's good then.
Yeah, Matt Heyman won it. Yeah, I remember.
Because that's most like Europeans don't even, like, you say Commonwealth Games, they're kind of like, What is this?
What are the Commonwealth Games?
Do you know? You don't?
No, I'm asking you.
Oh, well, it's kind of like...
Dropped yourself in it.
They're amazing. Yeah, you've got to be really good to win.
Yeah. How about the tour?
Sorry?
I don't know. I'm more interested about the tour. That was just a question to lead onto Tour de France. Was it Tour de France?
Yeah, 2018. Yeah, 19 wasn't too bad either, but yeah, there it is.
With the Tour, G, looking back when the year after when Egan came on the scene, how annoyed were you? Because you publicly said like he came in as a young kid, and I think that he was kind of the first within the team to be a young kid and be like, no, I'm here, this is what I'm doing. And as you said, you built up through the ranks for so many years and you earned your spot. Because he came in and he didn't take over, but he put up a damn good fight to take over. How do you actually feel about it now, looking back at it?
I'm just like still real proud of how I got back to that shape, to be honest. Like at the start of the tour, let alone the result and the team and all that put aside. But because, as I said, like after winning that race, like I had like 7-8 weeks of just like doing everything, going here, there, and everywhere. Like I think we said earlier, like we did a post-tour crit in like Japan and saw some of the pictures, and I was like, bloody hell, I'm absolutely massive. Like I couldn't even get in the yellow jersey. They had to get me a size up. But then to sort of come back and get into top shape again, ready for the tours, that felt like it was a massive achievement in itself, because coming after, all the things that happen afterwards, sports personality and, back home in Wales and the UK and, getting recognised in America, like, because we were going along this road, I was on my own, and we were going along this road, and this car pulls up and he's like, hey man, who do you think you are, Geraint Thomas? And I was like, holy shit, Geraint Thomas! So, yeah, that was kind of weird. But, so yeah, that just changed like after the tour. But then getting back into top fitness and doing all these, build-up races and slowly getting better and better and better. And then, yeah, so being in the position to at least fight for the win was great. But then, yeah, I don't know, that tour was just weird how it ended. It felt like an anticlimax because we had the cancelled stage, or no, halfway through they cancelled it, which was weird in itself. Kind of like, the finish line was on the top of that hill that you've just done. And everyone was a bit like, well.
Yeah.
And then the next day was shortened to like 30k, or 40k, we just valley and then up the last climb. So that was kind of weird. And it's Alaphilippe was just riding incredible that race, and all the talk was like, when will he crack? And then it was like, will he crack? And then Egan just sort of just stole it at the end, really. And so it was, obviously it wasn't, I would have preferred to win, but, it's the way it goes, isn't it? And as I said, I was more just happy that I got myself back into that shape, because it's hard to do. Like, when Brad won, he didn't go back to the tour again, did he? Like Froome, after he won it the first time, he crashed out the next year. Yeah, so I think after winning the first time, it's always kind of hard to go back and do it again.
Well, next year, you're looking at the tour again? Because you did focus on the Giro a couple of years ago. Are you going to look to the tour again, or is there something different? Because you've got like 80 bloody GC riders in Ineos, so you've got to pick which one you're going to win.
Yeah. It's, that's good though. I like the competition in the team for spots. That's what pushes us, what pushes me. Like ever since Team Pursuit days. So yeah, I don't know. I just need to look at the routes. I think Giro route hasn't come out yet, has it? Soon, maybe.
It's about to come. Fausto Pinello told me it was a stage in Veneto, but in Treviso, because he's from there. So that's all I know. I don't know if anyone else knows.
Yeah, we'll have a look and go from there, really, yeah.
But you say something, I like the competition in the team. So that means you're going to still compete within that team to be part of Tour de France, or will be another team? Maybe? That's what everyone wants to know.
What team I'll be in?
Yeah.
I can't really say yet, but it's...
From what you say earlier, I see you at Ineos. I mean, sorry.
Assume what you want, Antonio. Juan, me.
I definitely think, though, the tour we talked about doing the cobble classics and Roubaix, and you've done Roubaix before. I think you'd love to hate it almost a little bit.
Yeah.
But with the Tour, it goes on the cobbles this year. Starts in Copenhagen, and then it drops down and it goes on a stage on the cobbles. So maybe there is a chance to do a little recon in Paris-Roubaix, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Well, when I in 2018, I did that. In 2018, I rode Roubaix because the cobbles were in the Tour, and it was a dead muddy one. It'd like been raining like full gas, and like we just hit this section of mud. I was maybe 30 back, and boom, there's a big crash. Got wiped out, broke something on my bike, and that was race over. So I was like, well, that was worth it. But yeah, so yeah, good idea, mate. Might do that.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, if you need any more, just let me know. I'm here.
That's the thing. I'm not too keen about cobbles in the Tour, though. Like, a lot of guys say it's good, but it's just a bit. So much can go wrong. Like, and you know how hard it is to prepare for it and to be in the best shape, and then you could have a few punches and your race could be over. So, unless you're French and you just get brought back up behind a car or whatever. But, I think he's here actually. Where is he? Oh, Bardet.
He's gone now. He's gone.
That's all right.
I'll leave it to you, Juan. I'm just going to sit here and listen to your beautiful
I
voice.
want to ask about the Tour again. I think that's what everyone wants to hear. What team, what race? Would you be, especially, let's say, okay, let's imagine, all right, you have to be at Tour de France. Come on, all right.
Yeah, it would be weird not to do it. Yeah.
But which role will you be taking there? That's the next question.
Yeah.
Is that positioning you? Because you were mentioning before, when I won it was nice to be back to that good shape. You clearly, well, someone else took the leadership of the team, but you were there. You were the leader of that team. In what status will you be going to the Tour de France in case? Or that will make you make a different decision saying, you know what, I just want to lead the team again on a Grand Tour. If it's not the Tour, it's not going to be the Tour, it might be another Grand Tour. Is that something you're thinking on?
Yeah, I think it's more the next 2-3 years. Just really want to just enjoy racing, because I know it's going to end at some point, which is kind of weird to think about it. Because as a bike rider, you're never in one place more than 2-3 weeks. Because like now, I go back to France on Monday. I'm there for 4 weeks actually. But then you go training camp a couple of weeks, back to Cardiff for Christmas. Potentially back to LA for another 3-4 weeks. Is that
Geraint Thomas there?
Yeah.
Gonna get that again.
Holy shit. And then, like back to, France, and then you're racing, and then you're here, there, and everywhere. And to then think about just moving back to Cardiff and just being in Cardiff all the time is just a weird thought in itself. But so just make the most of these last few years and just really enjoy it. And whether that's in the Tour or the Giro or Classics or whatever, but I don't know, just want to be part of a good team as well, a winning team.
Quick step then.
Ideally win myself, but...
Yeah. You did a good imitation of Cav the other day.
Yeah.
You missed that, G.
Cav?
No, they did a show, late night show on first day of Rouleur, and our friend here did a great imitation of Mark Cavendish.
Yeah, Pete was on as well, but I think, looking at the Tour de France and everything, G, I think there's one thing that I think we all forget about with cycling. I think through what you've done, for me especially, every time you come on TV now, you have to live up to an expectation. And you have to live up to that with the modern world, social media, always criticising. And I think for you personally, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think everyone's wanted you always to do that little bit better. In the last couple of years have been hard with crashes and whatnot. Do you think, when you look at cycling, the way you want to ride your bike and love to race, you spend so much time away from home, and I think it's something that people don't really know about when you look at TV and what you expect. You have to spend so much time away from home. We talk about the young kids in terms of they don't have that commitment, they don't have the family. Do you think it makes a massive difference to you personally and mentally that, oh God, I've got another 4 weeks away from my kids, got another 4 weeks away from my wife? Is that something that you think can change within the team that will make a massive benefit?
Yeah, I think for me it makes you focus more almost when you're away, and you're more productive with your time when you're home, and that is, it's hard, isn't it? When you have kids,
I don't know if I'm right in saying this, but didn't you spend 11 weeks away from him this year?
Yeah, so due to the whole COVID, Brexit, double whammy, my wife came back to get a visa and then couldn't get back to France for 3 months. And I managed to get back in between 2 races for like 3 days. So it was in about 11 and a half weeks I saw my wife and my son, who was like, he must have been like 1.5 at the time. And yeah, for like 3 days in that amount of time. So that was tough. And then, but then I had a good start to the year, third in Catalonia, won Romandy, like Dauphiné was really good. So then it's kind of like, it's kind of worthwhile, all those sacrifices, paying off. And then obviously the Tour, just a wet day, not just too relaxed, hit a speed bump and just hand slipped on the bars. And, we've all done it, but, worst time to do it. And popped my shoulder out, and then that was kind of it then for GC.
Oh man, I was there for that. So I was on the motorbike at the Tour, and when these crashes happen, it's an awful thing that me personally, have to like sit next to you when you're there, and it's awful. And I remember it wasn't funny at the time, but it's funny looking back. Luke was there with you because Luke has to stay with you no matter what happens, and we can hear more than what you see on TV. And Luke just came over and he just got on the radio and went, nah, he's done, he's fucked, he's out. And I was like reporting, doing this piece to camera, and I heard Luke say that, and I said on air, I was like, he's done, he's out. And then the next thing, the camera goes to the peloton, comes back to you, and you popped it back in, and then you're on your bike again. And I was just like, it's so difficult to like put into words when you think about the time away from home, and then you look at what you're doing and thinking, this guy's just literally popped his collarbone back in. Now he's riding back to the front and he's just grinding all day. Is it, for you, it must be like, oh man, there must have been a point within the Tour, because I was kind of wanting you to stop. I was like, just take a rest, dude.
Yeah. Well, hindsight, I probably should have, and because I was going through my mind, like, do I do what Roglic did and go home, rest up, go for the Olympics, maybe Vuelta, whatever. But when you're in there, you just don't want to quit. You don't want to go home. You just want to, because that's the main event, isn't it, of the year, and you wanted to stick in there and dig in, like, with the team. And initially you're kind of just trying to talk yourself around, like, oh yeah, I could be okay, I might come through this, but yeah, it just takes so much out of you just to get through those days. You're still racing the Tour, aren't you? So, but initially, like, as you say, when it was out, I didn't really know my shoulder was out. I was just like, just a lot of pain. So I was just like, nah, mate, I can't get back on the bike. So that's when Luke was like, oh, he's, not starting. But then
Sorry, guys. We hope everyone's all right. Yeah, I think also within cycling as well, within anyone that knows Giros or anyone around G, in the whole race, you will have this massive reputation as being this absolute hard as nails man. And you'll know about it more than anything. But I don't know if a lot of people know, but you actually rode a full tour with a cracked pelvis as well, which is ridiculous.
Back in 2013, Tony Martin. It's a good job he's retired now. But
I mean, yeah, he did cause a few crashes, didn't he?
Does, yeah.
Quite a few big ones.
But no, there was a big crash. Yeah, fractured the top part of my pelvis. So the doc was like, it's not going to do any more damage by riding, but it's just more if you can deal with the pains. And it was a bit like almost a challenge, almost. And because I'd missed the year before, previous, because I was doing the Olympics, and it's when Brad won. I just wanted to be a part of that winning team going into Paris, and so I really wanted to just get through, and physio every day, morning and night. And as you know, like, when you're at a race and you've got an injury, like, it takes so much out of you, because like before and after the stage, you're hardly in your bed because you being pulled and twisted, and you do the race and then you go back and you see physio, you got massage, food, you go back to bed and then go to sleep, you get up and do it all again.
It's like being an old cyclist. You don't need to be injury also from treatment to treatment. And
just like, it's busy. And then I completely forgot what we were even talking about, mate.
You with your cracked hip.
Oh, yeah. So, but I just felt like I was getting better and better all the time. So they just stuck at it and managed to get through. And yeah, looking back now, it's just like, wow, mate, just go home. But yeah, it was the first time the Froomey won and just to be part of that, and it was it's character building.
Yeah, massively. I don't think we did this earlier with your podcast, but should we ask a few questions if anyone wants to shout up? Anyone fancy asking Geraint a question? Raise your hand. Literally no one. You look at, oh no, we've got one. Can't see. Oh yeah. Brilliant. Moscon's out, isn't he?
Moscon's out. Yeah. I might be out. So there's only Pidcock left. So.
Luke Rowe's out.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
No, Luke's still there.
Okay.
Yeah, we did a 1-2-3 in Catalonia this year actually on GC. It was Yatesy, Richie, and me. But just to be on the podium, like while you were on the podium in Roubaix, I remember I was there as well, and that was incredible.
2010.
Yeah. And you gave your medal to what's his name?
James Murdoch.
Murdoch, yeah.
Just a medal, right? You have two. I got one.
I won't give it to anyone though.
No. Well, it's not Olympic gold, obviously. It's not the same, but, it's a random Paris-Roubaix medal, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just like when you're part of a team like that, though, a super strong team, is everyone just thrives off it, and you just get on a bit of a roll, like we were this year, really. Like, but then this year is almost seen as a failure for the team, and it's like we pretty much won every stage race that there was to win up to the Tour. You know, we won Catalonia, Romandie, Dauphiné, Giro. It's not bad, is it? And then we were third in the Tour, and it's seen as a failure. But that's the sort of standards that you set as a team, and you're always striving to, do better or win everything.
Is that pressure? I mean, because obviously it's not just a good year for the team. It's been a good team for the last decade or more. So is that the same pressure? Have you seen any change in pressure on the team? Or you think people is a bit like receiving better maybe victories from other teams like Jumbo-Visma or other teams because it's just different you think the judgment is made different because the team has been dominating for such a long time?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing why I celebrated winning, because that's one thing that we don't do very well in our team is celebrate the every wins, it's kind of seen as you might win the Dauphiné or Paris-Nice, oh yeah, well done, you should have. That was the best day for me, yeah.
You didn't, your wife was there after that, but you didn't know about it, did you?
Yeah, no, so she was texting me before she was getting on the flight, but she was just I'm just taking the dog for a walk, I might not have signal, whatever. Oh. And I was like, oh yeah, cool, whatever. And then, that was the worst bit though, those 3 hours just waiting, because we did a recon and then you got to wait to start, and because obviously you recon before the race starts, obviously 150 odd guys, it's a long old time till you're off, and you're sat in this hotel room just listening to random podcasts, just trying to kill some time. And that's the first time I was actually feeling a bit nervous then, because most of the race I was just it sounds weird, but I didn't really feel any pressure. I was just loving it, just the fact that I was feeling good in a great place sort of mentally, and just taking each day as it came and just enjoying being there and just lapping it up almost. And then, but that was the first time where these thoughts coming into my head, wow, I could actually win the Tour today. And that's when I was starting to get a bit nervous and I was just mate, I just need to just focus on the process. But that was the hardest bit. Then once you start the warm up and things, you go in autopilot then, and you just continue to do what you do. But that TT was because I had that little skid, didn't I, going into one of the first corners, and I started strong, was I think I was even fastest in the first split, and then had that. And I remember Nico, who was a DS at the time, and he was on the radio God, gee, take it easy now, you just get round. And but then suddenly it's almost like you forget how to corner, because you're just every corner then you're extra careful. And there was the final descent before 500 meter drag up to the finish, and they looked at my Garmin compared to Froomey's, and he put 12 seconds into me in 500 meters downhill, because I was going that slow around all the corners. But it was to then cross the line. I remember on the radio I was like, Nico, have I won the Tour? And he's like, yeah, gee, you won the Tour. And that feeling, just unbelievable. And then, as you say, Sar was there, and I was across the line a bit is that Sar? I was like, bloody hell, Sar's this. And I give her this hug, and then hugging her, I'm thinking, I hope this is Sar now. Like, if she's home watching me like with some random girl, like, that's not going to go down well. But it was. So, yeah.
With all the cameras around, right?
Yeah, incredible then. But then, like traditionally, you know, the last day is kind of a procession, innit? But it's still the sprinters, and it's still a race. So you'd have a few beers at night and just, you know, relax a bit. But I was like, I had one with the boys, and like the chef makes burgers and stuff. But then it was fully just focused on next day. Because I was like, could you imagine like losing it on the last day in Paris? Like,
Yeah, that would have been bad.
Yeah. So yeah, stayed focused, and then yeah, the next couple of months enjoyed it. And yeah.
When did it hit you properly that you'd won? Obviously, the time trial, you say, yeah, I've won the Tour, but there must have been a point where it sort of went, oof.
It was kind of a blur the whole rest of the year, to be honest. Like, I'm really glad we did the book, me and Tom, because I was actually able to sit down and reflect on it, like, properly, and just remember things that happened. And because if I hadn't done that, it's kind of one of those things where you just go here, there, and everywhere, and it just kind of you forget things. Like, even now when I see bits of the book, I'm like, bloody hell, yeah, that happened, or this happened. But yeah, I don't know, it was maybe like, it's weird, the Tour, because it's the one race where people still congratulate you for it the next year. So, you know, like, when you're in a bike race and, like, you win a stage, like, oh, good job yesterday, mate, whatever. And then, but like, I was doing races in March, and guys were coming up to me, oh, good job in the Tour. I was like, oh, yeah, cheers, mate. But just, like, yeah, it's just so weird. And, like, even now, I don't really think about it, but if I sat down and think about it, like, I've won the Tour, that's absolutely bonkers. Because I just picture myself as a kid, you know, running home from school, like, to watch the end of, like, the last, like, 10K of the Tour or whatever. And to imagine thinking that kid, like, won the Tour is just bonkers, really, yeah. So, but pretty sweet.
Thanks so much, G. Thanks for sharing all your experiences, your thoughts, your feelings about winning Tour de France. Hopefully that happens again soon. And yeah, we wish you all the best for next year.
Cheers, thanks a lot. Thank you.